Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Archonn. I'm going to be bringing you my next World Cup commentary from World Cup 4, Week 4, OU2 against iMat. So now this week I actually lost, and I wanted to bring this video to you with the message of, uh, even one misplay can cost you an entire game, and just sort of how unforgiving Pokemon can be. Um, so for this week, I wanted to bring rain because I haven't played weather in about 2 years, so it was essentially unscoutable. Um, we got a pretty standard lineup here with Pelipper, Kingdra, Kabutops. Um, those are pretty much like standard rain. And then I also wanted to bring this Dragonite, which has Thunder and Hurricane, which obviously don't miss in rain. Really strong monster. Chansey here has Teleport, Stealth Rocks. Uh, really the whole game plan was to sort of use Chansey and Gardevoir here, which is sort of, you know, unstandard, to teleport into Kingdra and Kabutops to get big kills. Uh, Initially, I had these 5 Mons except for Gardevoir, and I really just couldn't fit something in that could handle Conk. And my teammate suggested this Gardevoir, which has Teleport and Healing Wish, which we'll get to see in action a little bit later in the game. Gardevoir can tank 3 hits from a conch, so he can switch in and then teleport out. So now, looking at my opponent's team, Hippowdon's going to be a little bit of a trouble since it, obviously gets rid of rain if it comes in. Weavile could be a little scary. Lucario is the biggest threat, though. Special Lucario is super slept on in OU, in my opinion. Anyways, I start with Pelipper. I don't really see any threats to my Pelipper other than maybe this Rotom would kind of suck, since it can Volt Switch out and he would get a bunch of momentum. But I think it's worth just throwing Rotom in anyway, or Pelipper in anyways, even though it's pretty obvious he'll start Rotom. So I get my Rain up. Pretty obvious he's gonna Volt Switch here, so I just go into Chansey. I can teleport out, or depending on what he goes into, I can just double switch. He goes for the Pain Split though, which is a little interesting. That's kind of a big scout for me right off the bat. No Volt Switch, does like 40%. Anyways, I get to teleport out rather. He goes into Hippo. And I want to get rid of this thing ASAP, so I just go into Pelipper so I can get my Rain back up and U-turn into something that can hopefully get a kill, either Kingdra or Kabutops. Okay, I guess I go for the Hurricane. I think U-turn probably would have been better here. I guess let's see what he goes into. I thought he'd maybe start up or throw up Stealth Rocks, I suppose. That was a misplay for sure, though. U-turn would have been better to keep momentum. This Rotom ends up really fucking me this game, though. This Rotom is like pretty speedy, so it can outspeed my Mons without Rain up, and it also has Discharge here, which, if you don't know, has a I think 30% chance to paralyze. So obviously I don't want to get either of my Rain Mons paralyzed because that halves their speed. So obviously I wasn't really playing on my A game this game, and it's just these little misplays that really fuck you. But there is one turn that really loses me the game, and we'll stop at that point and sort of go over it, and how it loses me the game. I could have won up to that point. It's turn 17. I could have won up to turn 17, even with all these little other misplays like that Hurricane, and there's one with my Gardevoir coming up. Anyways, we both set up Stealth Rocks. This will be the first video where I commentate over a loss. I think it's important to go over your losses and see what you could have done better, since looking over these misplays is the best way that you can get better, along with just practicing playing. Because if you sort of develop better foresight in Pokemon, you can sort of avoid little misplays, by just sort of working out how the rest of the battle will go in your head if you pick a specific move. So I Surf here. Surf kills Hippowdon. It also two-shots this Mandibuzz. I think this is actually a roll after lefties. I think it's probably like an 80% chance this two-shots. That 40% is a mid to low roll, so I'm just looking for a mid or high roll, obviously. You know, unless he roosts, this is completely worth it. Even if he roosts, you know, it's worth trying to get the kill here. So I get the roll, quite nice. So that's Mandibuzz down. Now he goes into his Weavile, which is scary. This is kind of a 50-50 here. I'm calcing if he pursuits, do I live a pursuit if I switch out? Night Slash, do I live a Night Slash if it doesn't crit? I find out I'll live a pursuit, and I also live a Night Slash, but I'm not trying to get critted. So this is a 50-50, you know. If he pursuits, I live, but I die on rocks, switching back in. If I get crit, I die, but I live a non-crit Night Slash. So I determine it's worth it to try and kill this thing because it's a big threat. And he Night Slashes, doesn't pursuit, doesn't get the crit though. And luckily I get the kill here. So now I'm looking pretty good right now, you know. 2 Mons down, one of them's a pretty big threat. I'm chilling. Even after that misplay with Hurricane, you know, that one didn't really matter too much. Sends out his Dragonite. Excuse me. Now this could be scary too if it's Dragon Dance. I don't really have any switch-ins if it goes to +2 speed. So obviously this is pretty scary. I'm locked into Surf, so I can't stay in. I'm determining, you know, maybe, you know, I think Gardevoir is my best play here. I don't really need it for anything other than this, assuming that Lucario's special, which it is. You know, if I go into Gardevoir, I can Will-O-Wisp if it decides to Dragon Dance. Little worried about a Lumberry though, since he doesn't, or I don't know if he has leftovers or not. If I go into Gardevoir though, I can just teleport out. I know I live a couple E-speeds. After leftovers. Alright, now I can just teleport out. So if you don't know what Healing Wish does, it feints my Gardevoir, and then anything I switch into gets healed back to full before hazards. So if something dies to hazards, I can Healing Wish, bring that Pokemon in, and heal it back to full before it ever takes hazards damage. Which is super nice because, you know, Pelipper dies to rocks easily. If it's gonna get bopped by rocks, I can just bring it in and sort of get better longevity out of my rain. So now he switches into Hippo here. Kingdra's pretty free again. I can Surf, chip something pretty well, or just kill this thing. Or I could Dragon Pulse, obviously, or Draco Meteor. So Kingdra's pretty free here. Still taking a lot of chip though. So I decided to Surf. My opponent deciding what to do. If I Dragon Pulse, it's probably better for him to stay in because I die to Sand in a couple turns. He can just slack off. If he goes into Rotom, then I'm kind of in deep shit because it would be faster. Although I don't know that yet. As far as I'm concerned, this is a pretty bulky Rotom with no speed. But he decides to stay in, so the 50-50 pays off. Hippowdon's dead. So no more Sand for the rest of the game. So I'm chilling. You know, I'm up 3 Mons. Feeling good. So he brings in Rotom. You know, obviously if he brings this in, he's faster than me. I'm not even going to risk it. So the correct play here is to go to Chansey. I think I go to Gardevoir here, which is obviously a huge misplay. Or no. Oh, I go to Dragonite here. Yeah, what do I do here? Okay, yeah, I go to Dragonite here. I determine I don't need this thing anymore. You know, his Dragonite's faster than mine. Lucario's faster than me, so I probably get killed. I just decide to sack this thing and maybe chip something on its way out. Unfortunately, he gets the Paralyze on me for Discharge. You know, I won't lie and say there was some RNG on this game, both for him and for me, which is always just kind of a dumb factor. So he discharges again, outspeeds obviously because I'm paralyzed. But luckily I get through the paralyze and I superpower. Big chip on that Rotom, and I died a Life Orb. So now, you know, I have an opening here. I could go into Gardevoir. Well, yeah, this is a bad play. See, now I'm pretty sure Discharge kills here, but at the time I don't think it did. Obviously I would want a Healing Wish here because he's faster. I didn't want to go into Chansey there because of Pain Split. See, this Rotom was really bad against my team, or really good against my team. Bad for me, because it just outspeeds everything that isn't in rain. So he Hydro Pumps. I say sorry in chat because now I get the Healing Wish, and you know, before my Kingdra would have died, but because of Healing Wish, back to full before it dies. So yeah, I mean he brings his Rotom in, and like I just didn't have anything for it. Okay, so here's the play. Here's the big misplay. I'm even gonna pause this. So I don't want his Lucario to come in because if it sets up, then I'm pretty much dead. But I sort of, you know, snap judgment, click surf because I thought he would bring his Lucario in. But thinking ahead, you know, he doesn't want his Lucario chipped because it obviously is his win con. But I sort of misjudged that Rotom wasn't a bigger threat than this Lucario. So I decided to surf, hoping to catch the Lucario, obviously. He Pain Splits. A discharge there would have been scary, but I think if he discharged there, I still would have stayed in and clicked Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse was the correct play here. So Dragon Pulse kills this Rotom, even after the Pain Split. Then he goes into Lucario, right? I go into Chansey. He sets up, which is fine. It doesn't matter how much he sets up. I just Seismic Toss until Chansey dies. I go into Pelipper. Pelipper dies. I go into Kabutops, and in rain I have Aqua Jet, which kills the rest of the game. So that was my path to victory here. If I Dragon Pulse this thing, it dies. Lucario comes in. Chansey, Pelipper die. I bring in Kabutops and Aqua Jet for the win. Okay? But instead I surf and don't kill anything. And he heals up his Rotom even on top of that. So now I'm scared of a Paralyze, obviously, so I go into Chansey. So that it's just like little things, or that's not even a little thing, that's a big thing. You know, just one turn can determine if you win or lose, and that was one of those turns. If I would have taken a little bit more time on that and maybe thought ahead a little bit more, I probably would have won this game. But that's just the kind of message I want to impress on you all is, you know, one turn can mean winning or losing. And Pokemon is totally unforgiving in the sense that if you pick one wrong move like that, then you just lose. There's no way coming back. So he Pain Splits, which sucks. He's back to full. I teleport out, gotta go into Pelipper so I can get rain up. And you know, I was looking so good up until this point too. You know, I had those 3 Mons up. Really could have gotten all the momentum in the world there. You know, even if he pain splits, on that turn he pain split it on my Kingdra turn 17. Even if he discharged, like I still would have taken that trade. You know, there's only a small chance I get parried and don't get an attack off, and it would have been completely worth it to win the game, obviously. But anyways, he discharges, calculating how much that does. Hydro Pump kills in rain. But it's fine, because I'm planning on teleporting out anyways. At this point, it doesn't really matter if this thing dies. The game is pretty much lost anyways, since Lucario and E-Speed Dragonite clean up the game. Oh, just kidding, I live with one. Doesn't really matter though. Okay, now here's another misplay. I could have gone into Kingdra and Dragon Pulsed here too, or Draco'd. And then gone into Kabutops again and Aqua Jet for the game. So that's another big misplay, but you know, at this point I'm spiraling out of control. I did not bring my A game to this game, that's for sure. I don't even think that has a chance to kill. That's just bad. Bad plays all around. So now I finally kill this thing. Fuck that Rotom. That thing was a perfect storm against my team. Now you just go into Dragonite and E-Speed. At this point, I've completely realized I've lost. Only way I can win this is by, like, majorly outplaying him and having him die to rocks after 2 more switching and a chip. Or by Hurricane hacks, which is what I decided to go for here. I know I live a couple E-Speeds, especially after I roost. I still have a chance to win here, actually, but, you know, I'm going to need RNG. So obviously I roost. He's calcing what ESP does, I'm sure. This was such a big week for Team USA too, you know. Rest of Europe is a powerful team. We really need this week win. At the time of recording this, we're down 0-2. So I Hurricane. Praying to God that I get a confuse. You know, losing is always disappointing, especially in a big tournament like this. But you know, as long as you're part of a good team, no one will blame you. As long as you realize what you've done wrong and work to fix it in the future, which is what I plan to do. So I actually get the confuse here. So now this game comes down to a coin toss, and it doesn't work. So that's a bummer. Obviously, E-Speed kills now. If I would have hit that, I actually would have won. Or maybe not if I miss Hurricane till I die. Or I suppose I could have just sacked Kingdra at that point. But either way, E-Speed wins. So, you know, it's just those couple turns, right? You know, the Gardevoir misplay, which ended up working because he missed Hydro Pump, but it was still a bad play. Turn 17 where I should have Dragon Pulse instead of Surf. And then after that, I still had a chance to win if I would have gone into Kingdra instead of Kabutops on the Rotom. But, you know, misplays. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about Pokemon in general. Always work on practicing so you don't misplay. Always watch, you know, watch your matches back to see what you could have done better. Team build so that you can't get scouted. And yeah, thank you for watching. See ya.